Hey guys, Mike here. So, oh boy, I told the members I'd definitely put a good old boy in it. And what a day it was, and a word you will hear thrown around a whole lot is capitulation. Like, was this a capitulation day? Put in the comments, is that what you think it was? And what that means basically is that people throwing in the towel and you get this huge down day, like for Tesla, down 15%. Apple, we talked about, right? Watch to see if it starts to participate in the sell-off, and oh boy did it, down 6% today. All right, all the mega caps were just getting nuked, okay? And not only them, though, the overseas stocks, okay? But there was stocks that were green, right? If you look, I was telling members, if you look at Dollar Tree, Dollar General, freaking Celsius, the big ones, like Elf was up like 10% as the market kept melting down. But the crazy part was, remember, today, it just slowly just kept going down, right? It wasn't like this, oh my God, look at this flush. And I think one reason might have been the fact that Twitter was down. I said they got hacked. Amazon Web Services said they were getting outages. Microsoft said they were having outages. Like, and other companies were saying the same thing. So I don't know what was going on, if there was cyber attacks or what the heck was happening. But I'm almost wondering, did the algos just have nothing to react off of? Because normally, these last 2 weeks, remember Trump was speaking today, you get these crazy 1 or 2 minute candles that are just crazy nuts. And we had none of those today, right? We finally end up hitting a certain very important point, which is why we got a 1% rally right at the end of the day. And there's really 3 reasons for that. They kind of coincided, and I'll show you what those were. But the sell down today was the fact that Apple started to participate. So you had these 3 heavyweights just getting shredded. Of course, Tesla, which don't hold anywhere near the kind of weight that Apple and NVDA has. But when you're down 15% in one day, but don't worry, Elon just came out, just looked at my phone 2 minutes ago. So don't worry, long term it's going to be okay, big dog. So you're good. I did find this funny, by the way. Somebody just sent this to me as I was starting to record this. This was dated August 4th, 2024 from Donald J. Trump on Twitter. And he says, stock market's crashing. I told you so. Kamala doesn't have a clue. Biden is sound asleep. All caused by inept U.S. leadership. That was August 4th, 2024. And I'm actually got a comparison of what's going on right now. The next day, we started a rally of 18% in the S&P. So that was perfectly timed. Maybe he'll send one out now. But I talked to you guys about last week when we started rallying on Friday. I think he just said it in Thursday or Saturday video. If we start to rally, will he allow the rally? Okay, and so Friday was a big swing up, right? And then of course he comes out Sunday and says something, which I'll let you hear what he's got to say, and we'll go over all these charts and fun stuff. But and something to really keep track of here, very important. But I'm curious about one thing. We haven't had a relief rally. We've been talking about this like overnight. My God, we're going to get a relief rally because normally it's like this right here. For those who don't know, market starts to come down, get a pop up, down, pop up. And that's kind of what you'll see. You'll see this on the charts I'm going to show you. And then, of course, going up, ding, ding, ding. That's usually pretty normal, okay? This one's just like this. Actually went down, sideways 3 days, like this, and then went boom. Down we go, right? And you just hadn't had that kind of relief rally. But if we do, put in the comments, are you selling? Or are you going to hold? That's my question. Are you going to, if we get a 3 to 5% pop up, which means stocks would be way up if SP goes up 3 to 5% in a short amount of time, would you sell or would you hold? That's my question to you. Just a pop quiz. Now, I do love this meme right here. President Trump, JD Vance, you see the stock market. This was early in the morning. It got way worse than this throughout the day. But here's what he said real quick on Sunday when it comes to the stock market.
What I have to do is build a strong country. You can't really watch the stock market. If you look at China, they have a 100-year perspective. We have a quarter. We go by quarters.
That's true.
And you can't go by that.
And so let me know what you think about that, guys. But understand, it's not just, I showed you Chinese stocks or Europe. Look at Luxembourg, up 16.7%. Austria, this is last week. Turkey, Indonesia, Czech Republic. Then you come down here, Canada, Israel, Taiwan, and Saudi Arabia. And the United States bringing up the rear, right? Minus 3.3% for the week right there. And so, yeah, that's nice to see. But yeah, plenty of other countries, their stocks are moving up. But you did see today, China, right? IEV, which is your European one right there, ETF. Already today after having huge moves up. I just showed you this in Sunday's video, excuse me. And so even with those cooling off, our market still went down. And one to track on here, in case you have Vanguard, a lot of people do Vanguard. VGK is another one. Somebody was saying it's like a American ETF or whatever. And I was like, well, Vanguard's one of them. So this one tracks European ETFs. And this one's interesting because when you look, remember the highs were in 08 for this one. But you can clearly see the levels of this thing's trying to break out of this trend line, which goes all the way back to 08. So a 16-year trend line, this thing's trying to turn into support. And obviously you can see the levels if it does. I mean, they're very easily marked out here because that was the all-time highs over here. But yeah, and so if this starts to break out and China continues to break out, I showed you that usually they can definitely move together, but at this point in time, their economies or their leaders and everybody else, they're just kind of either doing QE, cutting rates, all kinds of fun stuff. And so that's where money continues to flow. So just keep an eye on that one for sure. Other things we got to continue to watch: Challenger U.S. job cut announcements. This one's very strange, right? We always talked about how these job numbers are manipulated, right? So you see this huge spike right here in job cuts, but then you go over here to initial jobless claims, a 4-week moving average, right? And you don't see anything. And then right here you see a pop, and then there's like a pretty good delay, right? So there it is. And then you get this really nice delay coming out a few weeks later. Same thing on this pop right here. You can see right there come down. A few weeks later it comes out. What's really funny though, when you go back and look like, the .com, the 08 and all that stuff, like here you don't see anything moving up, right? But it was the opposite. It was the U.S. initial jobless claims were already spiking up big time before you even saw these kind of big pops, right? But our initial jobless claims are just, subdued. And so it almost comes back to what people are saying, like, oh man, these data is not even accurate or something, because it is weird. You're getting these pops and it's weeks upon delays, but then you look over the level and say, well, it used to not be that way. And when you look at the level, like that level is not too far from the .com no 08 when you look at it, right? It's not too far from that at all. So, but again, our initial jobs claims are actually subdued compared to other times, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that one. Another thing to watch out here for, the Confederate Board Consumer Confidence Inflation Rate expectations of 12 months. Look at this, 6%. Really? Like that is amazing. What a jump that is. I mean, if we go back to there, then, I mean, that's going to be absolutely insane. Okay, so I can't imagine that. And so, yeah, let me know what you think about that. I don't know. I mean, that's a nutty, like I said, there's going to be so many problems if we get back to there. But, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Obviously, it's been a couple months now where it keeps popping. But, again, if stuff like this happens, Ontario slaps 25% tax increase on electricity exports to U.S. in response to Trump's trade war. I believe they serve Michigan, Minnesota, and there's one other up there they serve. So if you live in one of those 3 states, I want to watch your electric bill, because the new prime minister, I believe it is, of Canada came out with a pretty strong statement saying, we're not going to be bullied, and the stuff we're going to do is going to affect Americans way more than what they're doing to us, because their government's already said, I don't know if they're sending out checks, I don't know what they're doing, but they're like, don't worry, we'll prop you up, I guess. I'm not sure how Canada works, so if you're from Canada, let us know how that's going to work and stuff. And if, during the last trade war, I don't think you were really involved in the last trade war, honestly, but, let us know what you think about that right there. I know for sure if Canada actually follows through with their plans, like I do feel bad for farmers. We don't bail them out again. We bailed them out in 2018 with many, many billions of dollars, because we get a lot of potash from Canada, a lot of fertilizers and things like that. And so that's going to be a problem. Plus, we export a lot of food to Canada, so I don't know how that's going to play out, but we'll see. Let me know if you happen to be a farmer in the farm business, have family members that talk about that. I'm going to be calling my brother-in-law and my father-in-law and all of them. They're all farmers, so I'm going to be talking to them over this coming week right here and see what's going on. But remember, just because these things have been put on, you're going to feel the effects for a while, right? So you're not going to feel the effects for a while. And supposedly we got another one kicking in this week, if I'm not mistaken, on steel and aluminum Wednesday if it goes through. So watch out for some announcement on that as well. Now, a couple reasons the market finally at 311 found some kind of bottom. One, you got the Dow taking out November election area right there. So that's a big one. Usually when you take out an 11 like that, important level, you'll see a bounce. Okay, don't mean it's going to continue or anything. You can see at that level, when it comes down to this level, it's had pretty decent rallies up. Now, of course, this time different. Probably so. We'll have to wait and see. All right, we're just going to wait and see at the levels we take out. The other one is finally touched oversold on the daily RSI. What's funny about that tweet I told you about, there it is. We touched oversold on this daily. Guess what we were down? 9.81% right there. According to my measurements, I don't know if Trevi is 100% accurate on this. We were down 9.42%. 10% is a correction. Okay, so have they had enough? Did they trick everybody again? Now that everybody just seems, oh my God, the world's come to an end, and then start to at least have a relief rally. That's what we got to find out. Let's get the relief rally first if we get one. All right. Again, nice pop right there. And another thing on the SPX, by the way, have you ever read into the JPM collar that they do every quarter? And this was one of them. Okay, it was 55.65, I believe, on SPX, which is where it bounced, broke above the trend line. But everybody was kind of waiting all day trying to get this relief rally at the very end of the day, and then finally it pops at the end of the day. And so a few things taking place there to make that happen. We'll see if we get continuation or not. And now all these supports, right, that we broke through today, these will be resistance. 563.75, 568, 571, which of course puts us up in a gap right there. And these are pretty high above. I mean, if you got through all three of those levels, that's like a 1.75% move. Okay, just kind of keep that in mind. But again, we'll see if we got down tomorrow, take out prior days and low. That's what we're going to look for. And again, as Apple going to continue, because today it got below its 200, and people are like, oh, it's below its 200, and it sucked back up to close like right on top of its 200. And that is a big, big red candle right there. And so again, we'll have to see if this is going to move up. If it continues and breaks that 200, yeah, I mean, you know what time it is. Okay, it's one of the top 3 heaviest weighted stocks out there, and you saw the effect of that today when it went down 6%, what it did to the market. Microsoft we talked about before, and so really you're looking at 235.44 to the upside. You don't want to break 226.06 right there, because that's going to put 220.59 into play for this one. Okay, you look over here, Microsoft, we already talked about this. Clear distribution. I showed you that Wyckoff distribution chart and everything, and this one's following that, and I'd marked this area out a long time ago. And there it is. They finally came down into it right there. Lost that 100 weekly moving average. So again, has it had enough, blood? Has it taken enough skin from Microsoft to finally get some kind of relief bounce? I'll wait till it gets above that trend right there to see if that's going to happen or not. Because right now, again, we're not above the 5-day moving average. The VIX is through the roof. You cannot move any kind of sustained rally with the VIX as high as it is, and you're still in this crazy negative gamma territory. That don't seem to be changing. Still not oversold, believe it or not, on the daily, which is even more crazy. To come down that much and it's still not touching oversold. And again, this one does not get oversold very often. And so that's something we'll keep an eye on this one. Then we have our friend NVDA. This one right here just seems to be just slowly moving down. It's another one. Still has not reached oversold on the daily. Right? It seems to be just slowly grinding its way down this 0.79 fib, the bottom of this channel right here. So watch for 104. Okay. A lot of people are going to be eyeballing 98. I believe it breaks 104 and breaks out of that. Yeah, I think you're going to 98 for sure. But again, a lot of resistance to the upside right here. Watch for 112 to the upside. If we do get a move up, Tesla, hot mess. And this thing just keeps filling gaps like this. Man, I mean, this is a big move down, right? But don't be surprised, because I believe it's like 220, 219 somewhere actually fills that gap right there. And so that's something to watch out for. And then you go down to 0.79 fib, and it's setting right around 184, right? And so let's see if we get that whole gap filled right there. Let's see if it wants to come on down. Again, I don't think anybody can say anything about this one, because that might not happen, because what? It's a momentum stock. And where's the momentum going to come from? Okay, I mean, Elon is completely absent. He's doing other things right now. And the card, man, numbers coming out of everywhere is just terrible. And so this needs something to try to pump some life in it, if you're a shareholder and stuff. And, and the other thing is, like, if it starts to pump, are people going to hold? Are they going to sell on the pump up if it does finally get one? That's really the key for this one, right? But, I mean, you would think a 15% down day, you would get some kind of relief coming in tomorrow. That's what you would think. But, we'll see if it's going to fill that whole gap or not. Now, when it comes to earnings, nothing big. Coles and Dick's, a couple others on there I wouldn't even worry about, to be honest with you. And then as far as data, the only thing you got to worry about here is JOLTS job openings. And so the big stuff's going to come on Wednesday when we get inflation data. So, I mean, on the bottom, if you think there's going to be a relief rally of some kind tomorrow after the day or not, and are you going to sell? If you do get like a 3 to 5% pop on the S&P right there. So anyway, please hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Think about signing up for the membership. Less than a McDonald's combo. And I will see you guys tomorrow.